And welcome inside the Bottom Line. Late edition today. I had some places I had to go this morning and places I had to go tonight. But now, Juju's in the house with me.
Was there a microphone around tonight at your meeting?
Yes, there was.
There was.
Yes, there was.
So there's public record of what you said.
Oh,
or
sure.
or the argument.
There wasn't anything I said that I wouldn't say again. That's just the way that it goes. I don't say I was.
I'm just so surprised that now all of a sudden you've changed your mind. You're going to run for public office.
Oh, that's
Sunday.
not happening. No, we've had that discussion. You know what's the old saying? You're a history guy. What's the old saying? If nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve. Yeah, that would be me.
Oh, I must have heard you wrong.
You did. I can promise you heard me wrong. Let's talk sports.
Okay, there we go.
I like
no
to talk
politics
sports.
in sports.
No politics
none whatsoever.
in sports. That's when I get aggravated about sports. when they talk politics.
There's something about doing these shows in the evenings. It's a little bit different than the mornings.
It is. You're kind of beat down. I'm not a Cowboy fan, and I think everybody knows that. But here's the deal. Jerry needs to step aside. Jerry doesn't need to be the mouthpiece for the Dallas Cowboys. That doesn't need to happen.
No, they're in trouble.
That doesn't need to happen.
They're in trouble though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's if the media wouldn't go and stick a microphone in front of it.
Oh, he'd just buy something and then he'd be out there anyway.
I think he's the only owner I've ever known and heard of that had his own radio show in Dallas.
That would be correct. Yes. Yeah, that would be correct. Let me give you just to wrap up scores from last week. It was Buffalo over the Rams 31-10. New Orleans beat Atlanta 27-16. This one surprised me. There's problems in San Francisco as well. Chicago beat the 49ers 19-10. Trey Lance may not be the man. It was Pittsburgh over Cincinnati in overtime. They didn't deserve it, but they won it.
Neither team deserved it.
They didn't. It was the Eagles over the Lions, 38-35. The Dolphins over New England, that's one I picked. I think I picked Philadelphia too. Baltimore over the Jets, 24-9. I did pick Jacksonville over the Commanders, but they lost 28-22. It was Cleveland over Carolina. That's an ugly football team. That's all I'm going to say. Jacoby used to be a Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, wasn't he? A bit back up at one time? Was he never on the roster?
No.
Okay. He's not very good, but
they'll
get by.
He's serviceable because they have a good defense and a good running game. If you can run the ball and play defense even in the NFL, you will be competitive in most games.
I couldn't believe that Houston and Indianapolis played to a tie, overtime tie.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it settled. The Giants beat the Titans. I missed that one. So what does that mean for the Carolina Panthers next week?
There'll be a desperate football team maybe.
They play for the Giants. Giants got a little confidence. This one I picked all the way. Green Bay is done.
No.
Minnesota 23-7.
That's okay.
Aaron's not going to get his clothes dirty. He was on the ground a lot.
He was.
A lot. Can't say that it bothered me. I thought this game would have been closer. Kansas City and the Cardinals.
No.
44-21.
That's a train wreck right there, the Cardinals.
It was the Chargers over the Raiders, 24-19. I picked that one. And TB12, 19, Dallas 3.
Dak gone 6 to 8 weeks, right?
Did they go get Jimmy G, or did they go? What's their backup quarterback's name?
Oh, the guy that played last night. He started one other game last year.
Yeah,
when Dak was hurt. Or did they go get Jimmy G, or do they go, I don't. It depends who Mike McCarthy likes, and he might be on the hot seat after this year.
Oh, he should have already been on the hot seat. Who's going to take the job? Would you take a head coaching job? I can't remember who I was talking to that was a Cowboy fan. They were talking about, we just got to get Sean Payton. Sean Payton's not coming as long as Jerry's in charge. Here's the deal. The Dallas Cowboys had the dynasty of the NFL, and Jerry couldn't stand it because the spotlight wasn't on him. When Jimmy was winning Super Bowls, when he didn't just turn him loose and say, go get him, Jimmy, I'll stand in the back and I'll be the owner. He can't do it. He's got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
He's got to be a part of it.
Well, I mean, that's everybody thought. Sean Payton's either going to go to Dallas or he was going to go to Miami.
I'd go to Miami.
Well, he can't go to Miami now since they just hired a new coach. But
Sure he can. They fire him all the time.
yeah, well,
It's walking around money. That's walking around money. Milton said Dallas is a train wreck. Yep. What's in the cup, Dad? Not enough, I can tell you that. I need more, okay? I may have to have a daddy cup when I get home.
Urban Meyer, he doesn't surface again ever, does he?
Who?
Urban Meyer.
His name's being kicked around Nebraska.
Yeah, I think I've heard that.
I thought Scott Frost got fired early. I was stunned that happened as quick as it did.
Yeah, they could have saved.
Not that he didn't deserve it.
Yeah, they could have saved $7.5 million if they'd waited until the end of the month.
Lincoln is a big Dallas fan. He said, "I hope they stay that way and never win again."
Well, it's
He's
been
not a Cowboy
over
fan.
a quarter century they haven't won.
Leedy said the best part of the Pittsburgh game was the collective deep breath before the ball dinged off the uprights. Yep. So let me go college. That's pro, and then we'll break down a whole bunch of this. Saturday, how about Alabama only winning by 1? Didn't even sniff covering.
No, they didn't.
20-19.
Yeah, and this close from losing.
20-19.
If what's his name had not scrambled out of there.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they miss a field goal? Didn't
Texas
miss a field goal somewhere along the line?
Yeah. But the quarterback made some plays there in the late moments to get him in field goal range.
UGA beat Samford 33-0. It was Ohio State over Arkansas State, FCS team, tune-up time, 45-12. Michigan beat Hawaii 56-10. Tune-up time for my Tigers, 35-12 over Furman. App State over Texas A&M.
Sun Belt Conference. What a weekend it was.
And college game day is coming to Boone.
Yeah.
It's Appalachian and Troy. I've been to Troy to a ball game, did one down there.
That's in Alabama, right?
Yeah, 2,500 of my closest friends in the stands at Troy. And we asked the question, where's everybody at? You know what they said? 2 reasons. Alabama's at home. Deer season opened up this weekend.
Okay.
That's why nobody was there.
So that was in
Troy,
November.
That was
had
Troy.
Had to be in November.
I think it was October, late October, I think.
Okay.
Oklahoma over Kent State 33-3. It was Marshall over the Fighting Irish. I think their new coach is going to be in a little trouble. I'm wondering, it was Brian Kelly that left, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Brian Kelly saw a little of the writing on the wall and maybe –
Oh, I think the writing came from the check that was given to him by LSU. I think that's the writing he saw.
I wonder if his talent was down a little bit, though.
I don't know.
One of the best underrated games, BYU over Baylor in double overtime.
That's my team to watch.
20. Baylor?
Yeah, that's a team to watch for me.
Yep.
They got a bunch of guys that are older, veteran guys, just like Appalachian State. One thing why App's winning, they got 4th, 5th, and 6th-year guys that stayed around for that extra year. Mm-hmm. And they're older than some of these other teams, and they're a veteran unit. And Texas A&M's a lot younger, even though they got the 5 stars and the 4 stars. They have a lot of freshmen and young guys that have very little experience.
Southern Cal over Stanford, 41-28. The Lincoln Riley era is in full swing. I think that was a signature win for him.
Maybe. I don't know how good Stanford is, though.
No, but it's better than Samford.
Yeah.
It's better than Hawaii and Furman.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
So I would say Southern Cal is the team that bought the most players, brought the most players.
Absolutely.
Best college team money can buy.
There's a lot of them. There's a competition for that.
Yeah, but they're up there. They're one of the top teams.
Yeah. It was Oklahoma State over Arizona State, 34-17. This one surprised me. Kentucky beat Florida. 26-16 to pick Florida in that one.
Well, Kentucky's won the last, 3 or 4 or 5 times they've played.
And that's another name that's being kicked around for the Nebraska job.
Stoops.
Is Mark Stoops.
Their quarterback.
He's going to be a second-tier program in the SEC.
Their quarterback's pretty good. Levis.
Yeah.
And they said he puts what did I hear? He does some unusual things with his choices of how he prepares his body. Food-wise, he puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
Yeah, I did see something about that.
Did you see that?
I did see something about
but
that.
But he's got an arm on him, and he's a strapping young man, perfect size for a quarterback, and he's got some legs on him. And you didn't hear much about him coming into the season as a possible NFL prospect. You heard more about the Florida quarterback who threw a couple of big picks in that game.
Yep. Lindsay says Matt Rule to Nebraska yesterday.
I'm sure somebody would buy the ticket and send him.
I'm
right?
sure they would. Of course, App State, you're right, Lincoln, Milton.
One other team, right? Georgia Southern.
Yes.
Beating Nebraska.
Well, that cost Scott Frost's job, too.
But three Sun Belt Conference teams, jumping up. And
Georgia Southern is not a team to sneeze at.
No, they're not. The program, they've been good.
Yeah. BYU, Link says, has always been older. They have a 2-year program their players go on and don't play. They can do that because of who they are.
And they got an extra year of eligibility.
Yeah. Other scores. Utah beat Southern Utah 73-7. Michigan State over Akron 52-0. It was Miami over Southern Miss 30-7. I've been to Southern Miss for a game. Arkansas beat South Carolina 44-30. Tennessee over Pitt 34-27. I picked Pitt.
That was a good game.
That one. Yeah.
It went right down to the
wire.
Say
more about Tennessee or Pitt?
No, I think Tennessee's improved. Yeah, I mean that game could have went either way.
Even Pitt may have been overrated.
No, Pitt was playing with their backup quarterback. Their starter went down in the first half with an injury, and so the Patty guy, who's the backup quarterback, came in, and I mean he got hurt himself, hurt his leg. But no, that game could have went either way. Went into overtime, and Tennessee just made some more plays down the stretch.
NC State beat Charleston Southern. This one surprised me. Washington State beat Wisconsin 17-14.
And going into Camp Randall and Madison and beating them. That's big.
It was Ole Miss over Central Arkansas 59-3. Wake beat Vanderbilt 45-25, but their quarterback's back. Hartman.
Yeah, got back.
Yeah. No discussion about where he's been, why he's back.
Well, no, he had I think I read he had some blood clots somewhere. I don't know if it was in his lungs or in his legs or somewhere. And he was taking blood thinners and going through the whole process of trying to get that cured.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Texas Tech beat Houston in 2 overtimes, 33-30. It was Minnesota over Western Illinois, 62-10. Duke beat Northwestern, 31-23.
Local kid came up with the game-winning play in that game. The Brandon Johnson kid from Newton Conover.
Oh, okay.
Plays defensive back starter, I think corner for Duke. Recovered a fumble in the end zone late in the game.
Wow. It was Penn State over Ohio, 46-10. Carolina beat Georgia State 35-28. Not a signature win for Mac. Glad he's got the week off this week. It was Texas San Antonio over Army, 41-38 in overtime. Kansas State beat Missouri in the drink of water, 40-12. He's done. He's got to be done soon. It was South Alabama over Central Michigan, 38-24. Temple beat Lafayette, 30-14. It was Western Michigan over Ball State, 37-30. Air Force beat the Buffaloes, 40-10. Memphis over Navy. I thought that was a little surprising. 37-13. Cincinnati over Kennesaw State, 63-10. Maryland beat Charlotte, 56-41.
Yeah.
The Will Healy train has really stumped
They
up a little
score
bit.
points, but they can't play defense. Some of the games I've read, some of the scores.
Cal over UNLV, 20-14. Washington over Portland State, 52-6. It was Iowa State over Iowa, 10-7. Illinois beat Virginia, 24-3. Virginia only able to put up 4 points.
Yeah, that was shocking.
I picked
to me.
Illinois, but the score was a little more shocking. Purdue over Indiana State, 56-0. The Scarlet Knights of Rutgers beat Wagner 66-7. That's embarrassing.
I think they call this weekend the budget weekend.
It is. Everybody gets their check.
Yeah.
It was Wyoming over Northern Colorado, 33-10. Eastern Kentucky over Bowling Green, 7 overtimes, 59-57.
Wow.
It was JMU over Norfolk, 63-7. And who'd they beat last week? Signature win? Didn't they?
James Madison?
Didn't James Madison beat somebody big last week?
No, you're talking about Old Dominion.
Old Dominion.
Yeah.
Okay. It was Middle Tennessee over Colorado State, 34-19.
And East Carolina beat Old Dominion this weekend.
Yes, they did. UCLA beat Alabama State 45-7. It was Incarnate Word over Nevada 55-41. Kansas beat West Virginia 55-42 in
That's
overtime.
a surprise.
A lot of overtime.
That's a surprise.
Yeah.
Kansas. I think Kansas is undefeated.
They were not ranked, but might have been. ECU beat Old Dominion 39-21.
Should be undefeated.
Holy Cross 37, Buffalo 31, Miami of Ohio 31, Robert Morris 14, Florida Atlantic over Southeast Louisiana 42-9. Liberty beat UAB 21-14. It was Syracuse over UConn 48-14. Is that where Mora is?
Yeah.
UConn?
Yeah. I have a question here.
Yes, sir.
Rankings came out today, college football.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M 24, Oregon 25. Appalachian got votes. How is that not turned around?
When Florida had a big win, they jumped
They
up
jumped
to number
to 12. How is
Because they're not a Power
Appalachian?
Five.
How? Huh?
It was a fluke. It's
Baloney.
viewed complete as a fluke. But if you
I
watch
don't have
the
the
game,
dog in the
now
fight.
here's the thing. Here's the
All I
thing.
do is watch the game.
Watch the game, and the other part of it is A&M just didn't play, which that's no problem except their own. All they kept talking about, they didn't play motivated. They didn't play. Well, that's on you. That's not an Appalachian thing.
Yeah, don't blame the visitors who went in, took the money, and whipped them.
Yeah, yeah.
And when
It's
you
like
control,
Michigan.
when you control the football, as long as the app did, and now again, I don't have a dog in the fight, but I admire for what they're doing and how they've done it.
You look at their time of possession.
Yeah.
Wasn't even close.
But again, if you're a ranker, if you're somebody that takes those polls serious, how do you put Texas A&M ahead of Appalachian State?
You've got UMass fell to Toledo 55-10. Georgia Tech over Western 35-17.
Western had an early lead in that game.
Weber State over Utah State 35-7. Tulane beat Alcorn State 52-0. Who came out of Alcorn State?
Steve McNair.
Air McNair. It was SMU over Lamar 45-16. South Florida over Howard 42-20. It was Tulsa over Northern Illinois 38-35. The Ragin' Cajuns, where Billy Napier came from.
Yes.
They beat Eastern Michigan 49-21. Eastern Michigan's usually a pretty good team. Troy, the team that comes to Appalachia next week, Troy over Alabama A&M 38-17. Texas State over FIU 41-12. Louisiana Tech over Stephen Austin 52-17. Auburn just beat San Jose State by 24-16.
You know, they had a lot of drama at Auburn this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe they put it behind them. They seem to have righted the ship and doing okay. They're undefeated, I believe. I know it's early.
LSU, Brian Kelly got his first win. Whee! 65-17.
Over
Southern.
Oh.
It was Georgia Southern over Nebraska, 45-42. Was North Texas, the Mean Green over Texas Southern, 59-27. Rice beat McNeese, 52-10. TCU over Tarleton, 59-17. Virginia Tech beat Boston College, 27-10. South Dakota State over Idaho State, 38-7. Louisiana Monroe over Nichols, 35-7. Oregon beat Eastern Washington 70-14. Indiana beat Idaho 35-22. It was UTEP over New Mexico State 2013. Coastal Carolina over Gardner-Webb 31-27. And Oregon State over Fresno State 35-32.
That's a close game.
Minnesota
Coastal.
State beat Arizona 39-17.
Coastal
Now,
not as good as they've been in the past, that they can only beat Gardner-Webb by 4.
Or is, that's always my question. So what does it say more about, Coastal or Gardner-Webb? Now, let me give you a couple matchups coming up. Florida State goes to Louisville. Who do you like?
Florida State.
Okay. Georgia, South Carolina.
Georgia.
Oklahoma will throttle Nebraska. At Nebraska.
At Nebraska. Man, these are kids. I don't know if they'll throttle them, but they should win.
Okay. Abilene Christian may lose to Missouri. Maybe. Drinkwater might get him a win.
That's an FCS school.
I don't care. Still tune-up week like Western Kentucky at Indiana, Buffalo at Coastal, Old Dominion at Virginia. Virginia's going to take another loss.
I would not. No, I don't think so. I think Virginia should bounce back.
3 points up.
I know, but, Old Dominion, I've watched highlights, and I saw the whole entire East Carolina game, and Mike Houston's Pirates are the – they say the team that you coach, it's a reflection of the head coach, the kind of team you have. And East Carolina is a direct reflection of Mike Houston teams down through the years. Tough, physical, pound you, and they beat up on NC State, should have won that game. They beat up on Old Dominion this past weekend, and it's historically the teams that comes the next week after playing a Mike Houston coach team or East Carolina, they don't have a good, strong performance. So I'm guessing Old Dominion got whooped at the line of scrimmage and beat up physically, so they may not respond this week against Virginia, and Virginia got humiliated last week.
Chad said Georgia Southern got 1.4.
And
went to Nebraska. Who is Drinkwater? Eli Drinkowitz.
Yeah.
The guy that abandoned App State.
After 1 year.
Not a good decision was made to hire him because everybody at NC State was glad to see him go. Eli Drinkowitz.
So Georgia Southern 1.4, App got 1.5. So almost, $3 million? Mm-hmm. And I believe Marshall got maybe 1.3 or 1.2 from Notre Dame. So you add all that up, it's almost $5 million total.
And the win.
And 3 wins.
I'm trying. App State, Troy. What do you think you can buy a ticket for? Game day's coming to Boone.
Oh, man. $250.
Close, $236.
Okay.
As low as $236.
Now, that'll go up as the week progresses.
This will be a better game than you would think. Liberty goes to Wake Forest.
They don't have Malik Willis.
Okay.
I can't imagine. Well, I can. I would just not think that. I think Wake's, again, they're one of those teams that have a lot of guys, 4th, 5th, and 6th-year players, and now they got their quarterback back, and he made a big difference last week. I think Wake's a team to be reckoned with, at least to win 9 games this year again.
I think Charlotte takes one on the chin this week. They go to Georgia State.
And they're coming off a pretty close loss to Carolina.
Clemson plays Louisiana Tech. SMU at Maryland.
Not very many good games, is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Miami at A&M.
At A&M.
At A&M. And it don't start till 9 o'clock. That's terrible. That's terrible, as Charles would say. Terrible. Yeah. It's terrible.
That would be
that's late
CBS.
For me.
That's a CBS game, I would guess.
That is
it's not
ESPN.
ESPN ABC game.
Mm-hmm. ESPN.
I wonder which game will be the Fox noon game. Will it be the Nebraska?
That will be Oklahoma-Nebraska.
Okay.
That is the Fox noon game. That's correct.
Used
ABC's noon game is UConn-Michigan, and Georgia-South Carolina is the ESPN noon game.
They're going to play at South Carolina. They're going to play Columbia at noon. Now, it's not supposed to be as warm. It's going to be close to 90 degrees on Saturday.
That's ugly weather right there in Columbia. Anytime in Columbia, it's ugly weather, just in case you're keeping score. Then your afternoon games, BYU at Oregon is at 3:30 on Fox. Ole Miss at Georgia Tech on ABC. Penn State at Auburn on CBS.
That might be a decent game.
Colorado at Minnesota on the Deuce. Kansas at Houston on the U. And then the 6 o'clock game is Mississippi State LSU on ESPN. And then Toledo, Ohio State is on Fox at 7. You've got Texas Tech and NC State on the Deuce at 7. Michigan, Washington at 7:30 on ABC. Pitt at Western Michigan.
No, that won't be a game.
On the U at 7:30. And that's about all of them that I can see. Then the Miami, Texas A&M. That'll be a pretty good game. Let me at least roll one break here. We'll be back in a minute.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, and then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Okay, I've talked enough. Your turn, Juju.
Well, I yeah, you have. You mean off the air? You've talked enough?
No.
Yeah, you read all those scores. You're right. So where I teach, my new school, Jacobs Fork Middle School, I'm surrounded by a lot of college football fans from, a diverse. There are Carolina fans. There are especially Appalachian State fans. And we had a little staff meeting, we'll get together right after school today, and the question was brought up, who has the best college football program in North Carolina right now?
App State does.
Program.
App State does.
Okay.
And here's the reason I say that. It's based on how they take care of business in their competition and how long they've been at the level that they've been. That's why I say.
One of the guys who's a teacher is in the CTE, I guess, department, and he's a big NC State fan. He said Dave Doran has been as consistent as anybody. They've won 8, 9 games now, 7, 8, 9 years in a row.
I'll go back. We talk about it all the time. You and I agree to disagree about the Steelers. Yeah, and had a losing record in 700 years. Yeah, but when's the last time they won something?
Yeah,
really won something.
Yeah, NC State hasn't won an ACC championship since I don't know whenever. I mean, since Ted Brown was back there a long time ago. But at least, I mean, they've been consistent under Dave Doran, and is that their peak? Do they go anywhere? Can they get 9 wins and a good bowl game? Is that pretty much their ceiling?
And that's what I'm saying. You know, for some reason, that seems to be completely acceptable for NC State fans and alumni. They're okay with that. And if you beat Carolina.
And they realize who they are. I think there has to be a little bit of that. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with what App State has done over the last couple of years, even through the Drinkowitz era. But what Scott Satterfield did,
play with their players.
Yeah, I mean, the first couple of seasons when they switched over to FBS under Satterfield, they weren't very good. 2012, 2013, when they were getting ready to jump up. But ever since they've been an FBS school, I mean, they've been as successful as anybody at that level in their conference and whatever. And maybe they are. Maybe they have the best program. What do you measure program as?
To me, it is consistency, but able to compete on a championship level. Occasionally, I mean, I don't think
they are competing at the champion in the Sun Belt.
That's correct.
And they are, and anybody that they play up to, the Power 5 schools, they're either beating or they are almost winning. Mm-hmm. They're going right to the hilt.
Back to NC State, okay? I'm going to pick up in Earl Edwards, 54-70, went 55, 45, and 5. This is conference, okay?
Okay.
His follow-on was Al Michaels, went 2-5-0. Lou Holtz went 16-5-2. Bo Ryan went 15-8-0. Lou left and went to the Jets, if I'm not mistaken, when he left NC State. Bo Ryan left, went to LSU, and never coached a game, was killed in a plane crash.
Correct.
The plane was never found. Monty Kiffin went 8-10-0. Tom Reed went 4-17-0.
I don't remember him.
Dick Sheridan.
I remember him.
Went 31-18-1.
Yeah.
And then quit coaching, and nobody ever knew why. At a relatively young age.
And he hasn't gotten back into it, right? He's been selling real estate down at the beach.
Mike O'Kane went 26-30, former Clemson quarterback, but coached at NC State. Chuck the Chest, Amata, 25-31, former linebacker, NC State. Tom O'Brien, 22-26. Dave Doran, 9 years, 34-40. A losing record inside the conference.
Okay, you're just talking about inside the conference.
Yeah. That's where you got to play.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not going to count. I'm not going to count, Miss Millie's daycare and, and Northview Middle School playing those games.
So you're saying that how many of those coaches, Dick Sheridan's, I guess, the last coach to have a winning record in the ACC, right?
The last winning record in the ACC would be Dick Sheridan between 86 and 92, so 30 years
Yeah.
since an NC State coach has had a winning record.
Within
So
the conference.
Please explain to me why that's the best program in the state.
Okay. That's a good point.
I mean, that's what I look at.
I didn't have that. I didn't have the access to that information when this person we were talking about it. We weren't, getting into it on a talk show. But he said as good as they've been over the last 7, 8, 9 years, they've been consistent. Now,
consistently losing inside the weak ACC conference.
Yeah. I agree with you totally.
Okay. And I'm not kicking off on NC State. I'm just here again. This isn't opinion. This is fact.
That's all, and it's hard to argue that. You're right.
And you can only present, in my opinion, conference records because that's what everybody has to play to.
Yep. So it would be Appalachian.
I think so.
Yep.
Carolina hasn't done it. Duke hasn't done it. Wake hasn't done it. ECU hasn't done it.
What's Carolina's record? Well, within the conference.
Okay. Let me look that up for you. Give me just one moment, sir. Let me get to my Wikipedia page. Wikipedia, yeah. Chad says that Mac ain't back. Richie says Carolina's setting the standard by beating themselves. Yes, Richie. Doran has a sub 500. Yes. Yeah. Lindsay says as an official paper holder from several North Carolina schools, Carolina, Appalachian, East Carolina, and now NC State, she said Appalachian hands down.
Okay.
And Chad says App State does a better job of developing 2 to 3 star players.
Okay.
Because that's who they're going to get.
Yes, that's who they're getting, and they're developing them.
Yes. All right, let's go back.
So it's not something in the water up there. They have a better weight training program.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Meal tickets. They have a better. They feed them better. There's something, right? Once they get them there, they develop. What is the secret sauce?
I have always said that I think Appalachian as a program and a staff recognize and accept who they are.
Okay.
And the kids that go there recognize and accept who they are. And they're completely okay with it.
Yeah. But football matters there more than
yes.
Maybe that should be the one argument or the one sticking point. Football matters there as much or more than any other school in the state of North Carolina.
Okay, I can't find – they don't have the same kind of stats. But I can tell you this, the last time Carolina won a conference championship was under Dick Crum in 1980.
Appalachian
42 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a sophomore in college.
Yep. Mac Brown, and this is overall. This is not conference, okay? So I don't like that because we're not comparing
Does
apples
Mac
to
Brown
apples.
get some credit for the building of Appalachian's football program?
No, he's only there a year. 1 year went to Carolina.
He was my first year covering with WNNC. They had the Golden Helmet Award.
Mm-hmm.
Mac was the guest speaker at the first Golden Helmet Award in the early 80s. A banquet. They used to have a banquet.
He did a great interview.
But where the banquet was held at the Western Steer in Newton. Mm-hmm. They cleared out all the tables and brought him in. Wow. He was a wonderful speaker.
Oh, he is. He did a great interview.
Yeah.
Mac Brown is 21-17. This is overall, okay, not conference. Larry Fedora went 45-43. Everett Withers went 7-6. Butch Davis went 12-23. John Bunning went 27-45. Carl Torbush went 17-18. Mac Brown in his first tenure went 69-46-1. Dick Crum went 72-41-3. Bill Dooley, which will take you back to 1967, went 69-53-2. So the Torbush, Bunning, Butch Davis era, which would have been 13 years sub 500.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what all that says, but,
No, Appalachian's got the best program in the state.
Richie said Carolina setting that standard by beating themselves.
You said
Lindsay said that was a very diplomatic statement that I made. You sure that was you? Yeah, I'm very diplomatic. I don't know what you're thinking. Went to Tulane before Carolina. Who are you talking about, Mac Brown? Mac Brown went to Tulane before Carolina, Richie?
The first time, yeah.
Okay.
I
didn't know that.
No, I thought he went to Oklahoma. He went to Tulane, then Oklahoma, then Carolina the first time.
Okay.
I think that's the way it was.
I got nothing on that. Let's
I
see
wouldn't
here.
think he went from Oklahoma to Tulane.
Let me pull Mac up here
He
because
was
Mac is back.
He was offensive coordinator at Oklahoma.
Okay. Appalachian, he went to offense coordinator at Oklahoma for 1 year, went to Tulane for 3 years, and then went to Carolina.
Oh, so it was that way.
Yes. He left Appalachian to be the offense coordinator at Oklahoma.
Okay. And then went to Tulane.
Yep.
Wow, you'd think it would be the other way
Head
around.
coach, he is 268, 139 and 1, 14 and 10 in bowl games, and a national champion.
Yeah, Texas.
And why did he go to Texas? Because he knew he couldn't get a national championship at Carolina. Not kicking the Carolina fans around. Okay.
I've heard him say that, not in those many words. He just said that he didn't think he was getting the support.
And he's not going to. It's a basketball school.
Yeah, but same can be said for Kentucky, and look what they're doing.
They won't make a change in basketball, but they were a basketball school.
Yeah.
Their
their coach just said it this year. He came out and said it at a press conference. Something, Calipari, and it hacked off the football coach Stoops. Maybe that's why he's looking elsewhere.
Brandon said they recruit the athletes that are best available and that fit there. They don't compete with schools they shouldn't for athletes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The athletes, the kids, they know who they are. They're comfortable. Best to get the best available to you that lose out to the larger name and take what's left. Then you got kids that have a chip. I don't know. I don't know that Appalachian is going after that 4- and 5-star recruit.
No,
because I don't think
they don't want him.
Right. I think they're completely good with getting kids that fit their system.
It's more about we than me. And some of the bigger programs, it's about me and not we. Maybe App's going to get into the NIL stuff and try to lure players that way. I don't know what they could do.
If you don't need it, why do it? Yeah. Lindsay said Carolina's a basketball school, but we like it that way. But football is still fun in person in Chapel Hill. Yeah, if you bring your own wine and cheese, it's a great thing. LR football.
What about it? Wine and cheese?
Talk to me about it.
Oh, they had a tough game over the weekend.
Yeah.
They did.
It's not pretty. I watched it.
Well, and I have some numbers here. They had 94 yards of offense. And Division II, I don't care what level you're at. If you're at a high school level, if you're at middle school level, 94 yards of total offense in today's college football, then, yeah, something's the matter. They switched quarterbacks already. They benched the starting quarterback who was a team captain in favor of maybe a little bit of more of experience. He did okay 2 weeks ago, but this past weekend, their All-American running back was held to 30 yards rushing. Well, and if you take losses, I think he rushed for 16 yards.
This may have been a stat that you gave, but I don't think they have lost an opening road game in 9 years. What's the 9-year thing? Was that what it was?
Yeah, non-conference game.
A non-conference game in 9 years.
In 9 years.
Yeah.
Home or away.
Okay.
So
I couldn't remember. I knew there was 9 years and they hadn't lost. I just couldn't remember the full details.
And Ferris State, which is it's a state school in northwest Michigan, defending national champions. I mean, they were meat and potatoes. They weren't nothing fancy. What they ran, Lanny, they put the quarterback in the shotgun and they ran the ball to the right. The quarterback did. He ran to the left or he ran up the middle. When he got tired, they took him out and brought another guy in, 6'3", 225 pounds, did the same thing.
Where is Ferris State?
It is in Rapids in northwest Michigan.
Wow. Okay.
And there's not a lot there. They have a coach that grew up in Michigan, was a high school legend, is in the Hall of Fame up there for a high school coach, decided he retired after 25 years, went into college, was a junior college coach, and then took over the Ferris State program 10 years ago, hadn't had a losing record. Wow. And they've been to the quarterfinals of the NCAA Division II playoffs each of the last 7 years. So, good program, but I don't think LR – I made a comment maybe on the air, maybe put something online. It was men against boys. Mm-hmm. They just out-muscled and out-physicaled LR. Up front, they won the line of scrimmage. They pushed LR around. LR's defense didn't play too bad, but they were on the field so long, they got wore down.
Very few teams that come out of Michigan and Ohio that aren't pretty darn good football teams.
Yeah.
I mean, and they probably get a lot of local talent.
They do, and they had a lot of kids that were in the Mid-American Conference that transferred.
Okay.
So you have mid-major teams. They had a lot of linemen over 300 pounds, guys that were 22, 23, 24 years old. Yeah. And here's LR with not excuses, but they have guys that they've got a young team. I think they got 75 guys on their team, either freshmen or sophomores. So they got 20-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And those guys just aren't developed like 22 and 24-year-olds.
Yeah. Richie had one final comment. He said, Mac went to the AD who was appointed by a basketball first crowd and asked to be compensated for what he was doing. He was told that Carolina is, and will always be a basketball school. If you want to raise, go somewhere else. Would that have been Swofford?
No, I don't think so. I think Swofford came after.
Okay.
And that AD, I believe that AD did not last very long. And then he went to Texas. Mm-hmm. What was the AD there? Delos Das lost. He has a funny last name, but anyway. I think he gave Mac about everything that he wanted. Same thing with Rick Barnes, who was the basketball coach there at the time. And then Delos Dodds, I think his last name is, and he retired. And they brought in a new athletic director, and then he cleaned house. That's when Mac left and went to ESPN, and Rick Barnes left and eventually wound up at Tennessee.
I hate that Rick ever left
Clemson,
yeah.
He's taken five schools to the NCAA tournament.
And here again, let's just be honest. There was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Of trying to be a basketball national championship contender at Clemson. Yeah. I mean, let's just be real here.
But it's being done now at Kentucky.
It would have been John Swofford.
Really?
Swofford was 80-97.
Really?
Yep.
That's who it was.
And then Dick Baddour came in after Swofford.
That's who I was thinking it was.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's see. I believe that's correct. Robert Fetzer from 23 to 52, Chuck Erickson from 53 to 67, Homer Rice from 69 to 75, Bill Kobe from 76 to 80. That was during the Dick Crum era. And then John Swofford from 80 to 97. I thought that would have been Swofford. Swofford ain't a football guy.
He should be.
I don't care.
He was a quarterback. He was a Shrine Bowl quarterback from Wilkes County.
Richie said the AD was Duck Baddour, and then Richie said, Lindsay, spell it right, because Richie couldn't. Lindsay said Dick Baddour, and now we have Bubba Cunningham. Nothing but the finest for the Tar Heels. Richie said, I'd personally love to see Carolina football compete for something other than the occasionally high-ranked bowl games. Todd Wimberly, good to have you, sir. That wouldn't have been Baddour. No, that would have been Swofford, because Mac was already gone by the time Baddour took over, I think. Now you're going to make me go back and look up. All right, Swofford was there to 97.
And when did Mac leave?
I'm going to look it up. Mac left in 97.
So my guess is that Swofford was out the door already, and maybe Baddour was coming in, and he made that statement.
Okay. We don't know. Maybe maybe that's what Richie was saying. It was Bedore.
Right? It would be. He got hired by. He didn't get hired by Bedore. He got hired by Swafford. So why would Swafford, who hired him,
but he went
push
to
him out the door
because he wanted more based on what he'd accomplished?
I think it might
have been Bedore.
I think it was.
Okay.
I think Mac tried a power play.
Richie said he really thinks it was Bedore.
I think I recall that.
Okay.
New guy coming in, he tried to,
Now Max just got to get
play.
around Bubba. He just wants to get along with Bubba. Bubba Cunningham. What else you got, sir? We're gonna run out of time.
I'm good.
You good?
I am good.
Okay.
We got high school football this week, right?
Yeah, high school football's back online. We
just about everybody in
game.
Catawba County.
We originally
back in action.
Whoop, that's wrong.
I've been hanging around you too long because these high school picks, you and I are in the basement.
I went 7-3,
and I went 9-1.
I know,
and I'm in the basement.
We originally were scheduled to do Bandy's at West Lincoln, but we changed based on games. We feel like the better game, because I don't think Bandy's has got anything for West Lincoln, just to be quite honest with you. Hickory's at East Lincoln. And that
should be a good game.
That should be a pretty good game. So we're going to change. That'll be our game at 7 o'clock on Friday night. It will be Hickory at East Lincoln.
Hickory's made a little bit of a change at quarterback. I think their offense is pretty good, but I think they're struggling with putting the right guys on the field, playing enough guys on defense.
Yeah, but they had a lot of numbers.
They did.
Richie said Mac needs to overhaul the defensive coach staff. There's something fundamentally wrong. Richie, he has got a former national championship head coach.
He just overhauled the defensive coaches.
He brought in as a defensive coordinator, Gene Chizik.
It's about want to. It's got to be that or scheme. The kids aren't listening. Well, I mean,
Mac has never done well defensively.
That's why he's hired a defensive coordinator, right? He's an offensive guy,
right?
Or now he's a CEO. He brings in guys and he just overlooks everything.
Mm-hmm.
But they got to. The game I saw when they played Appalachian, they took terrible angles, didn't tackle very well,
and that's what Rich said. Something's fundamentally wrong there, and it is. But the thing of it is, they should have the people in there to fix it now.
Yeah.
And this is.
But
correct me, guys. Isn't this year 3 or year 4?
Year 4.
You got to have it fixed by now if you're Mac Brown.
But college football now used to be different, a little bit different. They put the best athletes on offense.
That's because the rules are skewed that way.
Yeah. They used to put them on defense.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
The rules ain't skewed that way. No. Mac needs just to overhaul. But Mac's back. That's the only way he's back for. That's the only thing. I don't know.
They got a first-year quarterback who apparently is really good. When you saw him against the Appalachian, they just got to.
But he's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah,
it's not like he's a freshman.
No, he's not a true freshman.
Right.
No.
He played behind Sam Howell, right?
He did. Yeah, and he's got a lot of DNA in his DNA to play Carolina.
Yeah.
And I think his grandparents, right? His grandparents they live in Claremont, Catawba County, I believe.
I don't know. His dad, Mark May. His dad's Mark May.
Yeah, grandparents, I believe, live in Catawba County.
Mama's side, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay. Richie said, okay, the last time Chizik came to Carolina, he brought in a totally different staff. The only hire was Chizik. He didn't get to make any other staff changes. Okay, that's still on Mac. Mac's in charge.
Give it time. Yeah, give it time. That's why they had the week off.
They
get a bye week.
If you don't have things rolling by year 4 with your kids,
they're undefeated. They're undefeated. Just win, baby.
Okay, baby. Okay, I'm in. Yeah, I'm good.
When do they play? They play Pitt coming up. They play Notre Dame coming up. Who else they play?
Sis, when do they play? I'm gonna get the schedule right here. Okay. They're off so they can play Notre Dame.
Okay.
Notre Dame's coming to Chapel Hill. And then Virginia Tech. And then they go to Miami. Then they go to Durham. Then Pitt comes to town. They go to Virginia. They go to Wake Forest. That could be kind of tough too. Georgia Tech, and then they got to play NC State the last game of the season.
A lot of things.
And all
can
Dave
happen.
Doran has to do is just win, baby. He just has to win that Carolina game. Get him 7-8 wins and a Carolina win. He's golden. He's there forever.
Does he go after a Nebraska job, or is his name not big enough?
If I'm Nebraska,
You go after John Gruden.
if I'm Nebraska, I'm going after Mark Stoops because of the years he spent at Oklahoma. He understands that part of the country. And that would be a step up for Mark Stoops
From the SEC?
from Kentucky. He's a bottom feeder in the SEC.
No, not in the last 3 or 4 years.
He's
He's the winningest coach in Kentucky football history. You know who he passed? Bear Bryant.
There you go. It don't take much.
Yeah, Bear Bryant.
All right, let me tell you. Let me give you their schedule right quick. They can win all but possibly 2.
Who are you talking about? Kentucky?
Mm-hmm. Rest of their schedule. They've got Youngstown State, Northern Illinois,
Jeez.
Ole Miss, the Chickens, Mississippi State, Tennessee at Tennessee,
That'll be a tough one.
Missouri with Drinkwater, Vanderbilt, Georgia,
There you go. There's two.
and Louisville. So I think
That's
they
two
win them all
losses.
but Georgia and Tennessee.
2 losses.
Yeah.
10-2.
Mm-hmm. But he's still not going to the championship game because he can't beat Georgia or Tennessee. They're both in his division.
Well, if they beat Tennessee, they go 11-1.
He ain't beating Georgia. He still don't get to go. He still don't get
But
to
11-1?
go. He don't get to go to the championship game?
And a New Year's 6 game?
Yeah. Okay.
You don't think that Kentucky fans will take 11-1?
Yeah.
With the
I
New
didn't
Year's
say
6
they
game, top
wouldn't
10,
take it.
top 10 ranking?
Didn't say they wouldn't take it. That's
And he's
not
going to
what I
leave that
said.
to go to Nebraska where they haven't won in 25 years?
He could turn them around.
He might. I'm not going to argue with you, but you can make an argument that he could stay and be just as successful or take a shot and go to Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Their AD is a former football player, right? Trev Alberts?
I've always said, and I'll say this and I'll quit. I've always said it's like Roy. Roy could have stayed at Kansas and created his own legend. He didn't have to come back to Carolina.
It's in his blood.
No, they did the emotional thing. You owe us. We're what got you where you're at. You owe us. That's wrong. That's just wrong. There's no way I would have done it. Not the way he had things going at Kansas. Richie said Doran's going to Nebraska after this year. Nope, they got to warn him, Richie. All right, Bob says Jerry May, Drake's grandfather, does live in Catawba County.
Okay.
And Todd says in Rock Barn.
Rock Barn, okay. I was
Okay.
glad I said Claremont, so yeah.
Jerry May, so that would be his daddy's dad.
Okay. And he must
Mark May.
does he sell something to schools like magazines or something?
I don't
Because
know.
I heard some of the teachers talking about his grandfather comes around schools and talks to them or
That
something.
used to be Dave Abernathy. You remember
Yeah,
Dave?
yeah, I do. I know him, yeah. Catawba County Sports Hall of Famer.
Yeah. All right, I'll quit now. Said he was a great punter. Do I have him confused? He was a big guy, wasn't he?
What? Yeah, went to Appalachian.
I think
Basketball player.
he was a basketball player.
Yeah,
That's not
think
maybe okay.
He's I think he's in Appalachian.
His family's been doing that forever. The school fundraiser things.
Oh yeah. His son was there for a long time too.
Yeah.
Probably still does it.
Yeah. All right, we're out of here. Won't see you in the morning.
Why not?
I've got to do some doctor appointment. Not for me, but I got to do some doctor appointments.
Okay.
But I might hit you later on in the day. Maybe I have a startling revelation for you or something. Have a good one anyway. See you.